What's the most interesting revelation you've had about the opposite? Story 1. Nuts move all on their own, like the skin flexes and shifts and like crawls up and down twitching. I read it on Reddit, called and went and inspected the spouse, was very, very surprised. I learned it in the last few years. I'm not a young person. Story 2. When my husband and I moved in together, I showed him how to wash bras and to hang them up. One day, he was in a rush and wasn't paying attention and put 4 of my good bras in the dryer on high. He apologized profusely and promised to replace them. After he found out how much each one of them were, he asked if he could buy me a new one each pay period. I said that's fine and said he will probably never make this mistake again. Story 3. How wet she is can be totally unrelated to how she is. Story 4. I was 16 to 17 when I found out periods happen over time, not an instant gush of blood that comes out at some random point over a 1-week time period. I blame adverts for panty liners where they poured all the blue liquid out at once. Story 5. As a dude, I grew my hair really long, and the amount of hair I had to pull out of my butt while showering was shocking. Crazy that so many long-haired ladies had been pulling hair out their butts most of their lives. Story 6. That nothing stands the test of time in a relationship more than kindness. It can't be faked long-term. It's literally the most important quality in a mate. Story 7. I truly thought the hoodies were mine. Story 8. They can withstand you lying on top of them. Story 9. Men really do sit there and think about the most random things. You think they're mad at you, but they're seriously just contemplating what would happen if oxygen just suddenly disappeared for a brief moment. Story 10. Men are incredibly emotional humans in a way that deserves so much showing up for in gentleness. I used to believe the stereotypes and didn't always hold space for men to bring their emotions. But once I began clocking into how some men show up in their emotions, I was able to see how awesome they are in that space. Story 11. That guys don't talk about their life with each other. I grew up watching all these movies where guys were in locker rooms describing their encounters, so I thought all guys did this. I was surprised to find out that they hardly ever do this, and a lot don't want you discussing it at all with anyone. Story 12. I think I was a teenager when I realized that my assumption, 95% of women think they're beautiful, was actually the inverse of reality. I have no idea why I thought that was the case, but I did. When I started understanding people's insecurities about their appearance, men included, it changed the way I interacted with them. Story 13. Long-winded, bear with me. When I lived with male roommates and would clean the bathroom, everything was always covered in a thin sheer of beard hair, which like whatever price of admission of living with men. But the dust and hair around the base of the toilet was always immune to a broom, so I would have to get down and scrub, which again meant you should be scrubbing your bathroom anyways. But then I moved in with my girlfriend, and just my girlfriend. I took my first bath, and my cat walked near the base of the toilet, and I was like, buddy, no, I haven't mopped down there yet. And I looked, and it was a little dusty, but it didn't have that sticky, gross dust. And I realized, it's piss splatter. The dust is sticky and caked to the floor because of piss splatter. I felt so stupid for not realizing until that moment, and also so grossed out for every time I personally scrubbed my roommate's piss off the floor. Edit. I am a girl. It wasn't my piss. Friends, before we continue our video, I want to remind you of the importance of subscribing to our channel. We are also waiting for your comments and likes. Thank you. Let's move on to the video. Story 14. I recently learned that there is apparently a large subsection of women that do not know you can't flush tampons. I really thought this was common knowledge, as I have seen the signs in every unisex bathroom I have been in that say, do not flush hygiene products. It seems to me that even if no one told you not to do this, the regular plumbing issues you must encounter would correct the problem on its own. Seems wild to me. Story 15. If you treat them right, they will take care of you when you're disgusting. I can't get off the pot right now, and we're a little scared we might have to call an ambulance. She brought me a small glass of wine, a water bottle, and some crackers. She's sitting by the door. That's love. Update. I couldn't pee and it was hurting, but I'm mucked now. Story 16. The lack of guys in child-centered roles, especially roles involving young children, due to their fear of being accused of or perceived as a creep, is a real shame and disservice to our youth. My first job was working as a daycare assistant in high school. My guy friend worked at the same place. He wasn't allowed to change diapers, clothes, or hug, and basically comfort kids, though only girls or women were allowed. We were both deeply offended by the implication that he couldn't be trusted to perform the same job as me because he might do something sick. I felt valued as an employee, but he felt like he had a target on his back. Is this the message we want to send to boys? And why perpetuate the societal expectation that females should need to handle more childcare tasks than males? I've babysat for a ton of different families over the years. The blind trust some parents have in me just because I'm a woman is bewildering. Strangers have literally handed me their kid without batting an eye. Male babysitters are pretty much non-existent aside from the occasional family member or maybe a close family friend. And even if those boys or men are available and willing to babysit, there's a very high chance that a female family member or close family friend will be chosen instead if possible. I was a teacher for a while too. In many instances, female teachers are given much more leeway when it comes to how they interact with boy students compared to how male teachers interact with girl students. My ex was a teacher as well and felt like he had to walk on eggshells. I didn't. A whopping 77% of all K-12 public school teachers in the U.S. are women. My guy cousin is a kindergarten teacher. He's a unicorn. Only 11% of public elementary school teachers in the U.S. are men. I'd love to see more men working in child-centered professions. Kids benefit from having a heterogeneous mix of caretakers, adults in their lives. Men who are interested in enriching a child's life deserve to do so without being made to feel like a freaking weirdo for no reason aside from being men. Story 17. They are still attracted to women after they have children, get older, etc., etc. I spent all my teens and 20s completely nervous that I was not attractive enough and completely insecure after I had kids, only to find out men don't care about stretch marks, gray hair, or a little bit of a soft tummy. Men dig confident and happy women. The stuff we are insecure about does not stop them from thinking we are such a revelation. Story 18. My contribution is that women out of your league may not be looking for some Andrew Tate alpha male who drinks bull piss and gets into fights. She may actually have a crush on you and be just as shy to approach as you are. Imagine my shock when I was on a manic high and spoke to a woman I knew would never associate with my ass, and she was the exact type of person I was looking for, and I happened to be the exact type she was looking for. Next month will be 12 years of marriage. Story 19. Ladies, message him, I'm proud of you. No clue why it does what it does to a guy, but they love that. Story 20. That men and women are way more similar than we are led to believe. Men can have just as much anxiety and insecurities as women. They just express them differently. Story 21. I believe it was learning that girls actually desire just like guys. For some reason, while growing up, many guys are under the impression they have to try to figure out how to get women to have women get and too. Story 22. Men like to sort out a problem as quickly as possible so they can go back to thinking about nothing. Story 23. Women can talk about their problems for hours with no intention of looking for a solution. They just want you to listen, not fix it. Story 24. That they could find me attractive and pleasant to be with. I was absolutely not expecting that. Story 25. That there actually are women for whom the awkward, short, skinny, shy dude who gets nervous around them is their exact type. More than you'd think. You just have to be willing to earnestly look for them and not fall into toxic ideas. This is a good note to end on. Please rate your stories in the comments. I'll be happy to add them to future videos. Also, you can rate our other videos. We would be very grateful. Thanks for watching. Have a nice day.